live Sunday Night with Those Guys, and Sunday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys.
What's up? How's everyone doing? Happy Sunday. What's up, show? El Smeghead says he'll be listening. He's finishing work early, walking home while watching the stream. Recovery One, great video on that topic we will touch on, but not until way later into the stream. GSK, what's good? Fly Guy Merrill, those guys were early, and Big Matt was sitting there chilling as well. On the panel, we have Ray, you guys know him, Cool Bick, Herman, Phantom Flight 101, and Tom, aka. And it's Sunday night. It's Sunday nights with those guys. I know there's a whole lot that people want to talk about, but we're going to take our time because we got a whole 2 hours to go. So
Really,
I must say this now because I can't promise I won't be cursing tonight. The views and opinions that are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel and or in the chat. Tom's pointing at himself too, so a disclaimer. He's going under.
Everybody's got an opinion and an asshole, so we'll get that right out of the way right now, right?
Okay. Yes, let's get it out the way at the beginning of this.
Good, it's out of the way now. Okay.
What's up, Ray? How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Just
your boy 2 Feet is almost back running.
Oh, you saw him?
No, I'm talking about Herman.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got rid of all that stuff. I get some
he's almost back. He's almost back. He's
glad, man.
Around a lot better.
I'm gonna be. Let's go out there and get our fly on because I know you gotta feel like
Orlando. What's good? How are you? Night Train. What's good? The Fly By guys. How are you from Newfoundland? Hey, Night Train. That was a good giveaway. For those of you who don't know, a guy named Mr. Gross FPV won the motors and the 6-inch frame on Night Train's live stream last Thursday. This during Thanksgiving, we gave it away. I mailed out the motors yesterday, and he mailed out the frame yesterday. So that was a successful giveaway. My numbers did go up. What's up, Jackson RC? And it's over with. I don't know about giveaways for
Recovery One. Yeah. No, Recovery One.
Oh, okay.
Hey, and Herman, great appearance on Ken Herron's show.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I get your autograph? Let me get your autograph, Herm.
Yes.
Yeah, Herm.
Blowing up, bro. He's blowing up.
Yeah, you look like you was a little nervous too, but let me get your autograph anyway.
I wasn't nervous.
Yo, Herm,
I think he was worried. I think he was worried Ken was going to come sideways at him.
Yo, check it out. He said, Herm, what are you looking at? Look at the camera. Yo, I fell out, yo.
Yeah.
I fell out, yo. I fell out. I'm sorry, Herb.
It's true.
There was already so much love in that room. Okay?
Yes, sir. Ash is awesome, man.
You walked into a love fest, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you know, not only was it Thanksgiving, but from early in the day, I was tasting and sipping and sipping and tasting and sipping and sipping and tasting. And by the time Ken came on and you were on,
you almost fell?
Dude, I could have fell asleep in the chair and been happy. Right here. I could have, but it was a good stream and you represented New York City.
Yes, you did. Good answers. Good answers, Herm. Because I thought he was trying to trick you up, Herm, a little bit. But I said, my boy Herm from the group home, he's from Brooklyn. He knew how to answer that question. And you nailed it, Herm. You nailed it, bro. I'm proud of you, bro. You nailed it.
Yes, Michael McReynolds, what's good?
He was trying to fish you out as a 107 pilot. He threw the hook out there, and you ate it, and you spit it right back.
No, you know. Come on.
All that.
But it was all love, though. It was all love, though. It was all love.
You know what? He didn't come at
it. It was a New York love fest.
Exactly.
Jackson RC, how are you, bro?
But you know what?
New York love fest, right?
What I also want to say is Ash from Droning On has always been a fan of Herman's videos.
Yes, sir.
And and Ash was the one who was like, yo, why don't you go on Ken Herron? And Herman was like, all right. And he's like, do you want me to mention something to him? And Herman was like, well, all right, if you remember. And it just turned into one thing. We never expected it to be on Thanksgiving Eve. We thought it might have came up in a couple of weeks or whatever. And Herm, didn't you get a text from Ken saying something
El
about
Smeghead's getting nervous. He hasn't watched it yet, so he's worried we're going to spoil it. Look, El Smeghead, it was a love fest. We spoiled it already. It was a love fest.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, New York City was represented there. Really good.
Yeah, right.
Really good.
Not only by
You
Herman,
thought I was going to go,
but Stevie too.
Yeah, Stevie Bronx.
Did you hear what Herman said?
Stevie represented well
Bronx,
also.
that's right. He represented. Herman was on live, and Stevie Bronx had the featured video of the night
with the Bannerman Castle. Yeah,
which he just did that video too. So I'm sure your numbers went up some, Herman, and I'm sure.
That's what I was saying. It was
Stevie
a New York
Bronx
Love
numbers.
Fest.
No.
Herman. No,
I was just getting ready to say that, Ray. If you notice, when Herman got on, he was cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
And there have been a few other interviewers that were like,
Matt looking for a link.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, Matt, come on, you gotta, Matt. Ken Herron's definitely somebody you sub.
Yeah, Matt need to take those videos that he's doing there to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
say that fish hook again.
Matt, I'm gonna be honest with you. You need to stop playing around and just start uploading shit, because some of the stuff that you're doing, I'm sending a reply to your email.
Rich Kelly, man, what's up, man?
I just sent the link, Matt.
So you should
be good.
Jackson RC, Recovery One Drone.
Recovery Drone.
He just sent the
Ray
link.
Kelly, how are you, sir?
Show.
The castle was awesome. I do agree with you.
He loved
nice video.
Yeah, he loved Stevie's opening. See, that's what's catching him, right? I mean, Herman's opening is starting to become legend. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and he says, because he had showed Herman's video on once before a while back, and he was like, Ash was like, I love this guy, and Ken was like, I love it because he gets you into it, and he yells at you he tells you to watch his video.
Yeah, because Ken even made mention of Stevie's. Hey, I like the fact that he started off with something.
What's going on, Ray?
Hey, Ray.
Hope all is
How
well.
are you, bro?
Just a reminder, everyone in the chat, do not forget to smash that like button. We appreciate that, Mr. Michael Reynolds. And we appreciate you guys coming back every Sunday, because I know all of the drone news that's been going on. Trust me, especially in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, we're going to get to all of that.
We'll get to some of that. We'll get to some of that later.
It's still early. We don't want to burn ourselves out.
Yeah, and if we go squirrel, it's best we go squirrel at the end of the show.
Exactly.
Right. There's an excuse. Recovery One. Matt is going to wait until he has enough stuff to do one-man show at the Met.
No, he'll be right back.
There you go, bro.
He'll be right back. You better get his ass on here.
I sent him. He said he got it. As soon as I see it. Oh, he did get it. Okay, cool.
He got it. He said he'd be right back.
Yeah, all you got to do is holler to get on here. And
yeah. No, I had it already. Yeah, he just didn't get it.
I went to bed Thursday night feeling really good, because not only was Thanksgiving a success here during the COVID and all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying, but everyone was doing their own thing. Mr. Goss, how are you, sir? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Mr. Goss is actually the winner of those motors and frames.
That's the guy that won the contest.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, he won the contest. Congratulations. He says he's going to build something, and I told him the only thing that I do request from him, which isn't much, is a picture of the drone that he builds and a picture of him in the drone, so I can put it on social media and maybe pull some numbers to his YouTube channel as well.
Yeah,
but he's not on Facebook and stuff, so we're gonna have to figure out how to get a link and everything up. But don't worry about it. We appreciate.
Yeah, we will be hitting.
Here comes Matt.
That's easy. If he sends you the picture. All you have to do is upload the picture with the link
and with his YouTube link.
Yeah, Fly Guy Merrill. Yeah, we'll be hitting the topic.
Hey guys, I'm in.
Yes, trust me. We would be hitting the topic. We know a lot of people. What's up, Big Matt? We know a lot of people want to talk about it, but it's too early. And
Yeah,
what I
Joey,
would
we'll
like
get
to
to it
do,
later.
Ollie,
We'll get to it
What you
later.
got your face blacked out, Matt? What you got your face blacked out?
You gotta
light
throw
on.
some light on that,
I got
man.
a shadow.
you need a light in
Okay.
your face.
I
Yeah,
only mess with you. What'd you say, Tom?
yeah
got-
just hey,
man,
hey,
my-
Matt, do like this. Take your cell phone. There you go. Hold on a second.
He need one of those
Go
new
like
photo
this.
A1 lights.
There you
He
go.
needs, one of those little LED lights.
Yes, yes, under the desk.
Okay.
But anyway, how was
Okay, hold on.
everybody's weekend?
How are you, Matt?
I got you.
How was everyone's weekend? I mean, even you guys in the chat, I can communicate with you guys in the chat and still hold the conversation. I see you, Matt,
Well, it was
and
pretty
Ray
good
was
over
out
here.
flying.
Yeah, we ain't
yesterday.
been out for a minute, yo. So that was a good time to get out, you know. Good time to get out.
Well, 2 Foots is almost back running. As soon as I see him skipping down the road, we're going back out.
I'm waiting for him. I'm like you know, like you wait
Waiting.
for Christmas time. I wait for him to get back for real.
Listen, Herman hasn't flown in so long. His drone is at the door like a little puppy.
Bring the
Waiting around
towel. Just bring that towel, Herman, because you know the sweat's gonna be coming, baby.
Yeah, you got to shape and get your walk on.
It's winter time.
Mhm.
It don't matter.
But anyway, I wanted to do a quick story about this company Percepto. Herman and I did a few live streams way back about this company Percepto. Now, Percepto is one of those companies that created a drone in a box, the drone in a box concept, where if you are a store or you have a perimeter, they can come deliver this box system hooked up into a power supply or your power supply, however they do it. And the drone, if there was a detection in grid 9 on your property, the drone would actually launch and go take off. Well, Percepto is
autonomous inspections and monitoring, right?
Yes,
That's what it is.
yes.
Yeah.
Autonomous inspections. Now they do autonomous inspections. They check pipelines. They do everything as far as inspections. They have the cameras that do it, etc.
They use a Sparrow drone for that. Yeah.
But Percepto has stepped their game up, and they have this little dog that's a ground unit. So not only are they doing inspections, but now they're entering the security.
Well, what you just said, they got this little dog. No. Let's step back a second. Okay, it ain't a dog.
It's not a normal dog.
Okay, it's Spot, the new junkyard dog. I mean, drone.
Keep talking. I'll pull it up.
Basically, Spot is a
wait a minute. What happened?
Terrestrial drone. Okay.
You'll see it here in a few seconds, and I'm only showing this specifically because this is their website right about now.
You'll see there goes Spot.
And they're very quick to show it only because now I do have a video with them working, but that's the dog I was talking about. It is no longer. What the hell happened here? Something happened. A window disappeared. Oh, okay, I got it.
Spot.
But
so when they're talking about AIM, the acronym AIM, okay, autonomous inspection and monitoring, basically they set up waypoints throughout a facility that need to be monitored, and these aerial or Sparrow drones have 4K RGB and thermal imaging cameras, and they can go around and periodically and randomly check these locations, and all that data feeds back into a centralized system. And Spot is a different point of view when you think about it, right? So now you got that aerial point of view, and now you got Spot and
ground.
Spot,
ground
terrestrial
inspection.
or ground, right? And on the public safety side, they were already using similar types of devices like this. There's FLIR makes a couple of devices. FLIR is renowned for their thermal imaging.
Well, Spot is created. We got to remember, Spot was created by that company, Boston Dynamics. When you're seeing the YouTube
they're
videos
licensed
of those Spot opening doors, and they said they could apply it to the military and stuff like that. When you've seen videos of that stuff on YouTube, Boston
they can
Dynamics.
accessorize. They can also accessorize these devices, so they could add while Spot's rolling around, not only with the imaging, the visual cameras and the thermal imaging.
Someone's getting feedback.
Should say at the top of your screen. No. Okay.
No, I think it's Matt.
Not that I know of.
Oh, Matt's
Oh,
feeding back.
Oh, it's gone. It was some strange sound. But
so, yes, Boston Dynamics out of MIT. You're right, recovery drone.
Well, this is not the first time, we mentioned this, with Percepto. They had security with drone in a box for a while now. And this is just an add-on to I guess their security.
Well, from the article,
I think that might be coming from you, Lawrence. And you have now a dog that robot that adds on to.
You hear that sound, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It adds on to the, just to
It's
make the
now.
security just a little bit better. But for something like this would be essential for something that's a larger compound that needs this type of security. This would
or
be
a compound with a level of complexity, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, but think about it now, right? So remember that you can turn around and accessorize this type of device. You can customize it, right? So say not what I was trying to get to before was not only can you equip it with the visual senses with the thermal imaging and the RGB, but you could put environmental senses on it also. It could tell if areas are too hot or too cold. It could turn around. It could turn around and sense a gas leak before it ever rose to the explosive level.
Gas,
so things like that, gas
heat leaks, etc.
Right. Fluid
gas,
leaks of
heat.
different types,
Right,
combustibles.
Closer and closer to R2D2.
Yeah, you're there. You're there, right?
Well, it's the fact
you
that
think
it can
about,
see on different spectrums and they can load it out to see on different spectrums is a plus in itself. But not only is this for inspections, but in places like that where drone can't go, Spot can actually walk up the stairs and lean up and look over a banister just like a human would, because Spot standing on its hind legs is pretty tall. Now, that's just one version of Spot. Ray,
it's ultra mobility devices.
You both got to unmute yourselves. It was just, I didn't know where the background noise was coming from, but it's gone, so don't worry about it.
Man, now
but
double checking my sound just to make sure that wasn't me.
Oh, his sound, Smeghead says it sounds like someone was blowing a pipe. But I have a video. I actually have one of their advertising videos from Percepto Autonomous Drones. Now, I wanted to point out before I actually showed the video that this Spot unit right here, like Tom said, can be fitted with different optics. Keep in mind, it has its own optics, sensor, obstacle avoidance and all of that stuff, but you can set anything up here from a handle that can open doors to a handle that can pick up stuff. You guys have seen the videos.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is now Spot operating in the security, along a perimeter. This is their actual commercial for it. I had to mute the sound, but Spot, if you realize, will sit on the ground and it actually looks like a toolbox folded up until it stands up. Hold on. Let me see if I can catch that again. I keep missing it. Damn. Let me go back a little further.
No, you got it. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Damn. Well, right here, when he's sitting down, so you can't go back frame by frame, unfortunately. But you guys get the point I'm saying. When this thing is sitting on the ground, you would probably walk past it and not know what the hell it was until it got up and started moving. You understand? But the fact that he can actually check where the drone cannot check, inspect where the drone cannot inspect, and this whole area is covered by drone in a box.
Yeah, I mean, you can use this in a lot of different applications, right?
Yes.
It could even be a nighttime mall cop. Okay.
Well, see, this is what Herman and I were talking about, and about how Herman said he pictures German shepherds all over the world uniting and tearing these robots apart.
I know.
First
No,
man,
Herman's
not
crazy.
enough service dogs.
Herman's crazy.
Let's
think about it.
Dogs out of work.
Right. In Red Planet, they did have a similar AIM robot. You're 100% right.
Yep,
And I have a friend that's such a video
the
buff.
Amy.
He has convinced me that what they show you on TV, it may be conspiracy, but what they show you on TV, everything is planned, except maybe a handful. There's a small percentage that's not. But now that I think about it, the Janet Jackson thing with where the rippage came out, I think that was staged, because you pay so much money for your uniform for someone, or your costume on stage for someone to go like this and it rips like it was on Velcro. No.
We going squirrel already?
But in this movie, right?
Good catch, Tom. Good catch, Tom.
Yes, but in the movie Red Planet, they had a robot similar to this AIM robot. It walked around like a dog, and it had one red eye and stuff like that.
There's a lot of applications for this, because we're looking beyond, right, the security aspect of it. I'm thinking on the public safety side, we've talked about this before, putting drones up in the air. When a firefighter has to go in and look at a hazardous material incident, they have to get in usually level B or level A protective gear.
Right.
And you wear a 60-minute Scott bottle, or SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus bottle, right? An able-bodied, fully trained individual will only last about 15 minutes on that air. There's 60 minutes worth of air in there, but because your metabolism and your adrenaline rate, you're going to suck in that air a lot quicker. Now you put on the suit, that takes some time. You get in there, you have to identify. Once you're finally zipped you come out, then somebody else has to suit up to go in and mitigate.
Thank you for the 5 pounds.
Imagine sending Spot in. You send Spot in to take a look, figure out what it is, identify the product, and then even possibly remediate it. Spot can probably drag a 55-gallon drum in and put whatever it is into that drum and seal it. So, there's a lot of applications here. Going into any kind of hostile environment, send Spot in.
This is true. They're already doing
you have an active shooter in a building.
They're already doing it with the small little mini tanks and
we have
RC cars and stuff.
So we have pack bots. Okay. Pack bots are these small little tracked vehicles. They almost look like little tanks. Yeah. You can fling them up a flight of stairs. And what they'll do is when they get up there, just like your FPV, it'll right itself. And then it'll go around and go looking for what it needs to.
Are those the two-wheeled little things with but I've seen.
Well, they look like they have little tractors on.
Right, 2 wheels on the end, and there's this camera that stays perfectly centered.
No, that's something else. No, that's something else. No, what this is basically a terrestrial or ground robot. It's made by FLIR. It's got sensors on it. So think about it. If you have a meth lab or something, the worst thing you want to do is send somebody in there, because if they they go into a space and they introduce a little too much oxygen into that space, boom, gone, right? Or a spark or something like that is introduced. So you send in the packbot to go in and identify, sniff the air, take a look with a camera, see what's going on before you put people at risk. So this Spot, again, you're negating risk. That's what you're doing with it. Plus, it can probably see better than we can. It can definitely see in the dark, and it can see heat and cold signatures that we can't.
Yeah.
So,
which is crucial. Which is crucial to doing inspections and or finding someone. And you could send one of these things out in the rain or whatever, and it still operate where you can't send a drone or a man and
you don't have to clean up after it.
True. You don't have to walk it. Right. It may tell you it needs.
Still got to feed it. Still got to feed it.
Yeah, you still got to. You still do have to give batteries.
Yeah.
But now, getting on, this is kind of going to segue into what everybody really, really wants to talk about.
So Michael Blade is stating that we could send El Smeghead in. He's indestructible. It's always a possibility.
I titled it 81% of drone owners don't know where to fly legally. Do you guys in the panel believe this? Living in New York?
Yes. So I
Ray,
think the number's
Matt,
probably higher.
Ray, Matt, you guys.
Yeah. For the most part, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And 81% is a very high number, but in my years of flying and learning to fly, FPV and all of that stuff, I've come to find out most people really don't know where to fly. And I know that they know nothing about apps that help you fly. They know nothing about before you fly. All they know is the drone won't take off.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see a lot of people run into this issue, especially out here, because I live within 5 miles of JFK International Airport. And everyone's saying, how come your drone takes off and mine does not? Oh, I almost dropped my mic. I got to tighten it.
Pounding the table.
Hey, Sean, definitely there are German Shepherds planning uprisings all around the world.
Orlando,
right now.
Thank you very much
Okay.
for the $4.99 super chat. Have a great evening, gentlemen. Catch you later. Great work. We appreciate you for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
Most
Thank you.
definitely.
You know,
Well.
the thing is, let's give credit where credit's due. You know, Drone DJ had a great article on where he's talking about some statistics coming out of the UK, where 20% of Brits think drones are an invasion of privacy. Another 30% said they threaten manned aviation. Oh, well, you can, you know, I thought that number would have been higher in the UK because of Gatwick. And only 14% of them think positive of drone delivery, right? So now when they talk about 19% of drone pilots know where they can fly. So let's put this in numbers here in the US, okay? 5 days ago, the FAA publishes their numbers every so often, and 5 days ago, it was approximately 1.7 million drones are registered in the US. So think about that.
Wow.
If we're talking about a 1-to-1 relationship,
million.
but realize if we're talking about a 1-to-1 relationship between drone and person, which, come on, guys, you're all addicted to the same crack I am. Who owns one drone in this room right now? Okay, that's what I want to know. But let's just say it's a 1-to-1 relationship. That would be almost 1.4 million drone operators don't know where they can fly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just looking at a stat they had here.
I think it's more than don't know where to fly. I think it's more
afraid
like by a clue also.
Yeah.
Because we see it a lot when you see a new drone pilot. I saw one with Eddie Nunez like a week ago.
Regarding tech, most people fail to take. I'm reading what Recovery Drones was saying. Anything regarding tech, most people fail to take the time to read the manual and learn through trial.
You do trial and error.
Well,
hey, Birdman, how are you?
Eddie Nunez and I were at an RC field, and you know, we were burning some batteries. And there was a new drone flyer. We could tell he was there with his significant other. And we could see that he had already taken off with the drone before he got his phone into the holder.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
wow.
You know, we know what
drone
can
worship.
happen in situations like that. Plus taking off while facing yourself. Okay. With the camera facing you.
I tell that people to all the time.
For anybody. That should be a label on the box. Face other way, right?
Yeah, okay. I agree. Just for new registration, we appreciate that, Mr. Goss, because
accident waiting to happen.
There are a lot of people that don't. Yes.
Well, what you're saying, Tom, and I hate to be the one to do this, but going back to your famous statement, these guys go to Best Buy and they see, but before they get to Best Buy, they see these things in videos. And they know nothing of the other end of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's when, you know, you get issues like people not knowing where and, you know, how, and some of the safety issues behind it.
Yeah. You know, it's like anything else.
Well, this is
how many people have left a fork in a microwave because they never read the instructions?
Or even put aluminum pan in there.
How many people have put
Forget about
aluminum
the
foil in? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I've seen that a lot. I have seen that a lot.
But also
Seriously.
let's put something in perspective here. Okay, when we're talking about safety and drones, do you realize this? Drones are the safest thing up in the air.
The safest vehicle.
They're the safest vehicle. Okay.
Yes.
The incident rate, Now, of course,
it was an airplane. It was a model airplane that had the last recent incident. It wasn't even a drone.
True.
Right.
Besides that helicopter one,
True, but he's still considered an RC controller.
But
RC
realize we've said this already, right? Here it is, the holiday season. Okay.
Christmas Day. You know how many
Christmas morning, 1 million new drone pilots. Okay, by Christmas night, the carnage on pine trees alone and Christmas decorations. Okay, so
right.
Well, look at Matt.
Look at Matt. Yep, that's what they be doing.
Matt,
Christmas
could that look
2020.
could you make? You should have been doing some of the ad work for DJI, because in your hands, that drone looks even smaller than it really is.
That's true.
Okay?
True.
Grip it.
It looks like a tricorder or something from Star Trek.
Now tell me what kid is going to sit Christmas morning after they unwrap that with Dad, and Dad and little Joey aren't going to put it up in the air in the living room.
Yep.
As soon as they can.
Yeah.
And here's another spin on that, Tom. If they really cared about people reading anything about safety, how about making them fonts? How about making you give somebody an 8.5 by 11 instead of a 1 by 1.5 by 1 by 1.5 with letters like this? Where you need a magnifying glass with a newborn baby with 20/20/20 can't even read it. Like, how about making it 8.5 by 11 regular fonts, 13-inch fonts?
Ray, I'm just saying, dude. Coming from one old man, you're sounding like an old man. Okay,
but I don't have problems. I don't wear optics as of yet. I'm just speaking about who, even them little DJI. All of us have DJI books. How small is those books?
Yeah.
Really?
Look.
Oh,
it's all about packaging. It has nothing to do with the instructions in there, right?
Look at the iPhones. You get no more earphones. No more earphones. No more nothing on the iPhone.
No charger neither.
No charger. No nothing.
No charger.
Look, I have the ultimate solution. I do. I really do. And I just haven't been heard out on this.
Well, see,
so now that I have a platform here.
Well, see, this is why I wanted to start with this segue of 81% of drone owners don't know where to fly, because on Christmas Day, as well as many, many birthdays throughout the year, people are taking these drones out of their box. They're not looking at the instructions. They're charging the battery. And before they even have it open, most people are charging batteries.
So you want to hear the solution?
Yeah.
Now, Sean from Geeks Money, you're into news, right? Stand by. Here it is, bro. Okay. When you go to activate that drone will not allow you to activate it until you go through a series of lessons. Okay.
That would be wonderful.
And I'm sorry, if you want to fly, then you know what? Each of these lessons can be done in little 10-minute segments.
So you got to take the 5-hour tutorial?
No, I'm not saying a 55-hour tutorial where you get your certification at the end of the rainbow. I'm just saying, hey, 30 minutes will go a long way to making this a safer hobby and a hobby with more longevity. Okay. Right. So, and keep people and their investments safe. Think about it.
No, I understand.
You're a dad. You spent $1,500 on a drone Christmas morning, and by Christmas night, you're already out $1,500 plus whatever the Christmas tree, whatever the china on the shelf cost. Okay,
or whoever somebody else's property too. You never know. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but you have to take this series before the drone unlocks.
Well, FAA give you those 5 questions when you first sign up for your registration. They give you those questions. So you're right. Why can't they, DJI and everybody else, do the same thing?
Watch this video, answer 3 questions. Watch this one.
You're right, Tom.
So just that's to me, look, education, that's all this is about, right? And not all of us want to sit for it. But look, when we want to buy it, we sit and we're freaking sponges in the seat looking at the computer screen, right?
Yeah.
We're searching for every search term we can figure out that has drone in it to watch every video. Look, I do the same thing with the e-bikes. I do the same thing with
Sean,
RVs.
I sent you something.
Okay.
For everything.
Okay.
I sent you something
right?
real quick, Sean. Hey, what's up, Sean Geek Spawner? Welcome to the chat. I wanted to, like I said, I keep saying it, I wanted to lead out with this 81% because this is where we're going with this part of the live stream. Now, I want to make this very clear before we get into this conversation and this topic, because I already know where it's going. A lot of people are going to have their own opinions in the chat. All right, drone worship, have a great evening. A lot of people have their own opinions of how and what things should have been done. And okay, I got you, Sean. Okay, and what I'm getting at is Tom has a lot to say. I have a little bit to say, and basically, we're not going to make this a live stream about the individual that this event has happened.
It's not about the individual.
I don't want to talk about the individual. Where I want to go with this conversation
we'll make vague references, but we're not going to talk.
Exactly.
Look,
and I just want to
it's not about the
that.
individual here.
Look,
okay.
I can solve this. Okay. I had one extra burger on Wednesday night. I clearly didn't need it, but I really want the community to focus on something else now.
Sean, we're not going squirrel yet.
And I'm sorry. Okay.
Was it one extra burger, Sean?
Yeah. Well, we'll only go there.
My lawyer advised me to only talk about the one extra burger after that.
Okay, that's important.
You have to respect a written statement, I'm afraid.
Not the French fries, just the burger, right?
Yes.
There's always French fries.
Okay.
They don't count.
The drone worship. Have a good night with your girl, man. Anyway, I know Tom has a lot to go into, and all I can say is everyone's heard about the $182,000 event that happened. Okay.
Proposed fine. It's a proposed fine.
Yeah, proposed. But let's
propose
again. Let's not go into the detail of that.
Right.
What I really wanted to use the segment.
Give me a second, guys.
Was to talk about things that have come up as a result of this, right? So some of the misconceptions that are out there, and for Sean, it might be a little different in the UK, but here, 400 feet above ground, okay? Now, there's this misconception that you can fly 400 feet above a structure as long as you're laterally within 400 feet of that structure. But let me make this very clear. That's only if you're a Part 107 conducting a Part 107 flight, okay? There's no such rule. And believe me, that's not applicable even to a 107 pilot if a 107 pilot has to get a Lance or Lanc clearance, because then the Lanc clearance becomes the absolute height, okay? If I go and I get my Lanc clearance for 200 feet, I don't care if Part 107 says 400. I'm not cleared to 400.
Nope.
Okay?
Not
so that's the
rules.
first thing. And secondly, recreational pilots are not cleared to fly 400 feet above an object. Now let's take one other step, right? So the Comcast tower, that's 1,122 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as a Part 107 pilot, I could not fly to 1,522 feet because the Class B shelf ceiling there is 1,500 feet. Again, another absolute that alters that 400 feet above an object rule for a Part 107 pilot. Now, once you start doing things like flying at 400 feet above a structure as a recreational pilot, guess what? Now you're going to be held accountable as a Part 107.
Yeah.
Now Part 107 will apply to you, and you'll be subject, to whatever the FAA wants to do in that case or that
Especially
violation.
if you don't
So-
have a 107 license, you're going to get a stiff fine.
Well, again, one thing you'll be held accountable for is not having a 107,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Go
perfect.
ahead, Sean.
I can actually simplify that because I've been thinking about this over the last couple of weeks, because we've had a couple of incidents here in the UK in the last couple of weeks as well of different things happening, and we all have to remember that there is no such thing as a hobbyist or a professional drone pilot. There's no such thing. These
Exactly.
are hobbyist Part 107 pilots. These sort of things. They're names that we as a community attach to people.
Right.
Right.
And almost as a self-defense, we all fly under the same rules. The same rules apply to everybody. It's just whether or not the FAA deem that flight is now under Part 107, and if you are flying Part 107 without the correct certification, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But we all follow the same rules. So even if you say, well, I'm breaking the rules, but I'm breaking it as a hobbyist, no, it doesn't work that way. You're breaking Part 107.
Yes.
I would like to
Breaking
also
as a drone pilot.
I would like to also point out the fact that once you fly a drone and obtain some kind of monetization for flying that drone, that also classifies you as a 107 pilot.
In this country, it's in furtherance of business. Now, of course, you can say in a case like this, you know, some people have made the claim like, oh, he's making money on YouTube, he can afford this. No. Very few people are making that kind of money on YouTube, okay?
Listen,
and we're talking about pennies that he's making. Yeah. So it's not happening. It's not happening. Okay. So
this was nothing to do
me
with the monetization. This had nothing to do with his.
Nothing to do with it at all. This was
didn't like this. It was Part 107 because of the type of flights and because of the infractions that they were quoting.
Exactly.
And plus,
with monetization.
2 recent cases that you have to take notice of. In the 2 recent cases we're talking about, the one we're talking about here and another one that we're talking about where someone else ignored.
Yes.
Well, that's a different situation, right? That's when law enforcement comes looking for
Right.
you.
Okay.
When you ignore correspondence from the
Number
FAA,
1, from anybody,
it's not going to go away. Okay.
Never.
So the wrong defense is to say, why me and not everybody else?
There you go.
Okay. Why FAA me? No. That's to me, that's the wrong defense. To me, the right defense would be FAA, educate me. Okay, educate me so I can go help educate others through this situation.
And point exactly like you were just saying before
fall on the sword and say, I don't have the means. I do not have the means. Okay. But I do have I do have the initiative to make it right. So, you know, let me get out there and put the word out, you know, what happened to me and use it that I was a bonehead. I don't know. That would be my approach to handle it, right? Because I don't think the right defense is to go after them and say they're wrong, because that's an attempt to villainize the FAA. First off, that's not going to get you very far. The FAA,
that's a lot of
FAA
correspondence. How many? 100 and something?
Well, the FAA has kept, here's the way I look at it, okay? Being in this field for a while. The FAA has kept our airspace safe for the last 62 years, okay?
Exactly.
So don't villainize the FAA. There are rules and regulations. You want to fight the rules and regulations, fight them, okay? But don't turn your nose up at them and then go, woe is me. You're going to take a beating that way. I don't think that's a smart way to go.
Tom, I can agree with that, because now this individual is playing the victim. You cannot play the victim when you're holding 15 to 26 waivers at $1,500 a piece, saying F the FAA. And this was recorded, but hold on, this was recorded on this individual's chat. Do you think they haven't been combing through his videos and listening and recording telemetry?
I don't.
Another big mistake. You mentioned it right there.
I agree with Tom that I actually believe. I know I'm over the pond, so I'm slightly removed, but that sometimes gives me a little bit of a removed perspective on these things. Right. And I personally believe that the entire community are focusing on the wrong things. This is an individual who's being prosecuted for individual issues and for individual breaches. This isn't a campaign by the FAA.
No, I know that.
What is actually more worrying for every single drone flyer is the LAPD issue. Is the LA issue where the chap was the very first federal charge specifically
a drone fox,
reckless flying with a UAV. That's more concerning because that's the first of probably many that are going to be coming up. So people need to realize that this is moving from FAA sending you a fine to the FBI knocking on your door.
Yeah,
that's more of a significant change than the issues in Philadelphia, in my opinion. And the issues in Philadelphia are very, very specific. And if anybody really looked into them, they would see that it's a very specific situation with some very specific issues, and isn't indicative of the FAA's opinion. Because in actual fact, the level of the fine actually shows that, because their standard is to send out a $1,500 fine for each of those infractions. So that was just rattled off a computer somewhere. Once somebody said yes, they've reached the point of evidence to be able to find these people.
That's understandable, but they do the same thing in court when they send someone jail for $5 million, knowing you can't afford 10% of that.
Okay, now wait a second. You JSK Enterprise is saying I think $1,500 per offense is too much, way too much. Look, let's make a distinction here, okay? And Sean was hitting it right on the head. You're dealing with the FAA, okay? Now the case in LA, you're dealing with the feds. Guess who you can negotiate with? Not the feds, okay? So
as Ray said at the beginning, it's a proposed fine at the moment.
Exactly.
That's what we said.
The right approach would be: you get that in the mail, it's a wake-up call. You go, oh shit. You call the FSDO, you call the Flight Safety District Office, and you go, hey, I screwed up. What do I need to do here? What can I do? Is there any way around this? You're not going to get hit with a $1,500 fine.
Not every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have personal experience, not me, but I know somebody who got hit with one of these.
But Tom, again, not to cut you off,
they did exactly that.
Just like the IRS, when you owe them money, you make an agreement payment plan with them. They stop the charges. You have to have a conversation with them.
IRS always wants just a couple of drops of blood. You know that.
That's all they need. And they'll back up. But my point is that respond.
The FAA really is out, coming from the manned aviation side, even, this, that the FAA is really in it to educate you more than anything else. That's the whole game. Objective. Okay. But when you set up rules and regulations, they're there for a reason, right? It's a framework to keep us safe. So now when you violate that, there's a safety issue there. Okay. Now we've only hit on the altitude thing. Right. We only hit on the altitude thing. There's also a beyond visual line of sight thing. And you know how all that comes together and just smacks you in the face is the fact that you live stream telemetry. Okay. Now, keep your look. I don't know. I play poker. Okay, gentlemen, and we could get a good game going here, but
I would love it.
I keep my cards close to my chest, baby. Okay.
Can I?
I'm not showing before. Before we start turning over cards, you ain't seeing mine.
And forget about all this, huh, Tom? None of this, huh?
Listen, but I want to point out something. Many live streams back, Herman and I, both on each of our live streams, had Ryan LaTourette on. And he was dealing with the case in Louisiana where the gentleman got arrested and things like that. This is completely different. A completely different situation.
Different situation.
But the point I'm making is Ryan LaTourette seems to be a drone advocate for people. And I did watch the video with Ken Dono where he was on there. They did for an hour.
And by the way, if you haven't seen it, Ken had Ryan on, and it was a thoughtful approach. It was a nice,
thoughtful approach. But
I'm sad that it happened after Mikey went ballistic. On a couple of streams, but
Well,
but you know what? Look, go ahead.
The point I'm trying to make is there was something that Ryan LaTourette had said on there, and I kind of was like, wow, I hope he didn't. I can't believe he just said that. And what he said was, if you were flying, you should stop showing your telemetry and you should stop showing yourself flying the sticks. Now, I see his intent for
What happened with
saying this.
Casey?
I
What
see
happened
it-
with Casey Neistat? Okay,
Right.
he should have went down as a nice big chunky fine,
Exactly.
and Casey would have written a check right then and there. But guess what? Never had Casey on sticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody else was operating that. I was just the subject.
Therein lies the problem. You cannot go into a bank and then put the stocking on and say it wasn't me.
Well, look at it this way. How many times have
I'm
people come
sorry.
up to you? How many times have people come up to you? Like, you're flying over a tree. The tree is 60 feet tall. You're flying twice the height of the tree at 120 feet. Somebody comes up to you and says, I don't think you're allowed to fly at 500 feet. Well, I'm not flying at 500. Oh, yes, you are. Look at how high you are. Perspective, right? Everybody, again, is coming with a different set of experiences and sees it differently. But now, if I hold those logs close to my chest and I need to prove because of some out of the blue complaint against me that on this particular day, I can go look and say, hey, yeah, no, I got flight logs that show exactly how high I was, and I wasn't that high. Or if I was higher than I should be, I don't have flight logs. Okay,
well,
but
I wanted to correct. I wanted to correct Drone Fox in Drone Fox Island. We had made a disclaimer early in the live stream, and perhaps I should do it now because this will cover your statement as well as what I'm about to say
anybody
in
else
comment
that might.
to that. But the views and opinions that are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel and or in the chat. And what I mean by that is you have all rights to say that he is a disgrace, he's a figure
your
of our
opinion, but we're not here to
community.
flame him. We're not
Right,
here to
but
flame him.
That's the only thing I
He's
wanted
got
to
enough
bring up.
issues already.
Right, and that's
Okay?
our boy. Mike is a friend of
This
mine. I'm not
was
here to flame him
and
at
no.
all.
Mikey-
I don't want to make
Mikey-
it sound. Hold on. I
Nah,
don't want to
no.
make it sound like
No,
we're attacking Drone Fox Inland,
no,
Ireland,
no,
because
not at
he
all.
has
Not
the
at all.
right to say this.
It's just that
Everybody has their
we
opinion.
want to focus here on what the real issues were.
Right.
Okay.
The laws that were broken.
Here's the thing. Rules and regulations, by the way. Let's call them rules and regulations.
Yes.
Okay. But let's clear up something. And the reason why I felt important, because there was a discussion before this, everybody, whether we would even talk about it or not, because of a close relationship or a closer relationship than most, Ray, right?
Yep.
So there was a discussion whether we were going to even talk about it. But the reason I really felt strongly about bringing it up is because of all these new drone pilots out there that are going to watch these videos.
Yeah.
And they're going to watch other videos that are
And they encourage
online.
it.
And remember, yes, I understand the feeling. Well, why me? Why not everybody else? I understand it, but I don't agree with it. Okay? I'm nobody's keeper. I'm not my brother's keeper here. You want to fly and orbit the Empire State Building? God bless you. I hope you don't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
And whatever happens as a result of that flight, it's on you.
Drone Fox Island. Right now here in New York City, we have the issue of people flying in places in Manhattan. I'm not going to say where because
High
that'll
population
reveal who it is,
density
but
areas
flying
with
in
lots
places
of difficult
in the city
situations.
and in this state where you know it's wrong. So therefore, if someone comes up to you and checks you on it, man up and eat that.
Eat your spinach.
Yeah.
Look, I know photographers been in that realm for 4 decades where they put themselves in precarious situations. Okay. And some of them have gotten hooked up for it. But because of their artistic right to express themselves, they follow through on what they did, and they understood they had to take whatever came their way with it. Okay.
It's
and some of them have gotten world renowned as a result of it. It is what it is. Okay. You got to be accountable for your own actions. Mm-hmm. But when somebody taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, that might not be a good idea, maybe you should give it a second thought.
Dawn, after hearing all of this and living across the pond, I know where you live in the UK, they have their own issues and laws. But how do you think your version of the FAA would have handled this situation? I would be interested to know.
We're going in a very different direction, a very, very different direction. The rules that are about to come into place, in my opinion, are much better. Our drone rules are due to change completely, 100%.
Loving it. Yes.
And you're going to be able to fly the Mavic Mini in the middle of town centers over people. You know, they're basically saying at 249 grams, you're not going to hurt someone.
You're not going to hurt
as long as you're
anybody.
not with it. Have at it, basically. So they're opening up that side of things, and they're also, of course, then saying to manufacturers, if you want to make some more cool lightweight drones that amateurs can fly around, great. Once you start to get bigger and
let
bigger,
them graduate.
You then have to have certain licenses, and once you get to the big drones, you've got to be very highly qualified, which is as I think you should be. But it's the CAA here are therefore changing the regulations to make it fit the hobby, the modern hobby, much more, which is obviously fantastic. But they're also deploying the drone detection side of things much more. If you saw a couple of my live streams where we've had a chap on from Crowded Space Drones, Andrew, he is hired by government agencies, companies, TV companies, all sorts of things, and they will literally sit there and they know exactly what's going on with drones within a
they deconflict the space. Yeah.
So within a 25-mile radius, they can tell who's flying what at what height, and then they can just send the police down there. They carried that out recently at a horse racing event, and the response was actually the police that went out to speak to people on 99% of the occurrences actually educated. They actually spoke to the hobbyists and said, "Did you know you're not actually supposed to be flying this here right now?" And they didn't know, and that type of thing. And you know, they had that conversation with them. So that there seems to be a healthy conversation happening. But when someone's in the wrong, they will come down on you like a ton of bricks, like an absolute ton of bricks. You know, and you know, if you have professional qualifications, they will suspend those and remove your rights to them, etc.
And you lose your livelihood.
Absolutely. So we do have another drone bill coming in, which is in the House of Lords at the moment, which will give the police some fairly scary powers as far as being able to confiscate drones and that type of thing. So we've got some grey areas and some fog that we need to get through. But I personally believe that the new rules, certainly as far as we're going to have, will actually get us to a better place in the end as a hobby and profession.
Well, think about it. I've never heard anybody from being stopped throwing a whammo frisbee across the town square, right? Yeah. That's 200 grams right there. Okay.
Hey, Marcel.
So, you know, that's the right way to go. You know, I think that's happening in the UK. I think that's going to happen in Canada. I mean, Canada really, drone is built for Canada, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, this would be a great way to go. But you know, the problem is then you're going to have people, Sean, in New York City and Grand Central Terminal putting up a Mavic Mini too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
and if you want to put up a Mavic Mini 1, I have one for sale, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, anyone that wants to try that. But one thing they're actually doing as well is we now have our drone and model aircraft registration and education scheme. It's not just a registration scheme. So there is a 20-question multiple choice questionnaire which you have to pass. And a lot of people say, "Oh, why bother? It's so easy. All the answers are on the website. You've only got to get 16 out of 20."
Can't train
it. Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, exactly. The reason they do that is if the police officer does come to you and you're flying over 400 feet, or you're flying over a crowd of people, or you're flying in a dangerous manner, which is advised against on the what we call our drone code, then you are banged to rights, unfortunately, because you have passed that
red-handed.
You've signed your name, which is why people need to take that test a lot more seriously over here, rather than just worrying about passing it. Actually learning what you're passing is so important.
Is it just the last?
Ireland, Drone Fox says in Ireland they will be following EU rules.
It's the same rules,
yeah, same rules. So let me ask you a question: is it just the last couple of generations that forgot ignorance is no defense? Okay.
Well, but it is also culture. It is also culture. And I do blame us YouTube creators and influencers for some of it in the drone community, because we have made this demarcation and this mentality of hobbyist and professional, when actually we're just all drone pilots and we all follow the same rules.
We all started someplace.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, we have to share.
You don't start as a professional photographer, right?
Exactly. One other
you
thing,
pick up a camera.
Yeah, one other thing they're doing here, and across the whole of the EU, which is exciting, is they're getting rid of the whole sort of Part 107 side of things over here. Now, you won't actually have to have a qualification to fly a drone for work. You just have to have the right qualification to fly that drone in that airspace.
That particular drone, right?
So someone with a
so they're going to go with a class certificate.
Someone with a Mavic Mini could actually do wedding filming, that type of thing. Now, the one stipulation I love that they did put in there is you still have to have public liability insurance. So of course, an insurance company isn't going to insure a 17-year-old with a Mavic Mini to go out.
Right.
And
fly over
$1 million Ferraris or something.
That's where you got Verify and all those different companies get you insurance for the day.
Exactly. So there is I think that's quite good because that works with cars here to an extent. That's why you don't have 17-year-olds driving Ferraris because they can't insure it. Even if they can afford to buy it. So we're not going to suddenly have lots of new flyers setting up all these businesses. The qualification I've passed, which is the A2 CFC, it gives me so much clearance to fly that because at the moment we're not even allowed to fly in a village center, let alone a town center. But with that qualification from January, I'll be able to fly my drone in places I've never flown before. So for us, it's extremely exciting. And therefore, because it's obviously the monetized channel and that sort of thing, you are going to see a lot more drone flights on Geeks Vana, especially the members section. I'm going to bore my members to death with drone flights from January.
That I have to say, Sean, that and socialized medicine. What am I still doing in the U.S.? I don't know. I don't get it wrong.
I'm actually the opposite. I'm literally even my English friends say that I really should have been born in America. I'm the most American Brit you could ever meet, frankly.
That's funny.
Well, is everyone got everything you had to say about this topic out?
Look, I think we all hope the best. Okay.
I do. We all personally know the individual. We don't know the individual from across in LA or wherever that happened. We don't know that individual.
Can I plug something very quickly, which is actually my last words on this issue? And if you don't mind me doing a very quick
go for it.
This Thursday we have Professor Austin Choi Fitzpatrick joining us for our live stream, who is the author of the book The Good Drone. And basically, he has looked at the political ramifications of drones. And his concern within his book is that not the regulators, but actually government are trying to take control of drones so that they can use them and we can't, essentially. And that only large corporations can use them and governments can use them, that type of thing. And he's actually worked on campaigns where there's been protests where the government in that country said a couple of hundred people turned up, but actually drones helped to show that hundreds of thousands of people turned up. So he's very much drones for good, but he has a concern that the overall agenda, the big agenda above regulators, even above individual governments, is to stop the people having that kind of surveillance capability and that kind of freedom, essentially. So that's going to be a very interesting show, because I think a lot of that. And it's really an attempt for us to try and switch the focus away from individual cases, individual regulations that people don't like, and actually look down the road a little bit further as to what is coming, and the threats, the real threats that are coming towards
how it evolves. Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to that, Sean.
Yeah, it could be good.
I'll definitely watch that.
Sorry for you guys that had seen the commercial, but they put this new thing here where they suggest that you put a commercial up every 15 to 20 minutes, but I try to let it go every hour. So it was just minutes after 6. So now I've got it out of the way. Because it's actually a little button where they actually, people that are watching in the chat, you click it and randomly it selects who sees a commercial and who stays in the stream. And it's a YouTube thing. Also, I wanted to point out that.
So is that the ultimate evil here? We're not even talking FAA or the government takeover over. Sean, I think it's YouTube, right?
I just wanted
I'm sorry. Yeah. I wasn't supposed to say
Tim
that
Jackson.
out loud.
And the whole stream
you
goes
better
off.
do the disclaimer.
We
just went off air.
We're going to have
What's up, Tim Jackson, and everybody on the panel? Can't stay. Just wanted to say, hey, well, we appreciate you stopping in, Tim, as usual. We appreciate the support all the way from Australia. I know it's morning
Yeah, I know.
and you're working right now. Zoom requirement.
Monday morning.
No, it's actually a YouTube thing rather than it's the YouTube software doing that, isn't it, rather than Zoom?
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know,
right.
If just to diverse from the subject just a wee bit, for those of you who do not know, YouTube is going to start putting commercials on you non-monetized guys' pages.
Yeah.
So
of course
basically they're saying, get monetized if you want the pennies off this nickel. like they're telling. I mean, I literally make pennies off the quarter.
Well,
Okay.
what they're saying
I'm
is
past
that
the
they
pennies
reserve
off
the
the nickel,
right-
the pennies off the dime part. I'm making pennies off the quarter now per commercial.
They
So
reserve the right to monetize whatever video,
whatever content is being shown on their service.
So with that being said, it's not that you need to get monetized or get used to it. I mean, they're not going to pay you for that anyway.
Exactly.
No. If you are monetized, you better be careful because they can also decide to demonetize any or all of your videos. So, it's up to them. Remember, it's great to be in a game when you hold all the cards.
True.
Yeah. Read the terms of service.
True. So when are you stepping up your YouTube channel, Matt? We were talking about that before you got on here.
Matt's building up enough content he can publish for the next year.
You're working on something?
Yeah, definitely working on something. I'm trying to get my studio in order. Yeah, we're working on something.
Okay, it's great to hear a proper debate, guys. Please keep it up. Drone Fox Ireland, we appreciate you coming in. What's up, Chris Hope? The thing is,
hey Sean, what were you saying?
Yeah,
I'd just like to say that I love YouTube and Google, and I completely remove myself from any complaints that
put that disclaimer.
I thought he was going to put up a disclaimer
tonight.
I have never heard of those guys before. I've never heard of those guys before. I don't know what they're talking about. YouTube is awesome. YouTube is awesome, and I love you very much. Anyone,
Sean, it's a question. It's always a question. Those guys, you always say it like it's a question.
There you go. Hey, Logan Carpenter.
Tom, I will never talk to him again, I promise.
Asgard Studios, how are you?
Working on your studio?
Sean has. All right. That's what's
up.
I
think what Matt's trying to do is he's trying to pull Casey Neistat. He's building up enough content that he's going to put out a video every day for the next 365.
I wish I could, but I can't do that. I can't keep up with it.
I ain't even trying to keep up on YouTube at all.
That's a full-time job. Just
I got a full-time job.
Sean,
I can't take another one.
You see that?
Sean, the level of effort you have to put into your channel.
Yeah.
Hats off, bro. Hats off.
Yeah. Him, Ken, all those guys, man. All of them.
Besides, I keep on looking for Libby. I just can't find a good Libby sidekick. So I'm gonna hold off.
They are rare. They are extreme. They are an extremely rare and awesome. I don't want to call her
dude.
I do like not to go squirrel. I just want to say to Sean, that was a great millennial comment you made the other day. And in fact, her view of the United States is what, Friends, and what was the other show?
It was Friends. I think mainly Friends. Actually, I think she said.
Oh,
Friends,
and Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
that's Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah, and Big Bang Theory.
I have to get a lot more of the millennial to old man thing on the show because
I enjoyed the heck out of that. That was funny.
Sean, you see what Drone Fox put? Question he put for you?
How did I get such a good Irish name from two very good Irish parents?
There you go.
Okay, there you go.
I'm the first of my family to be born in the UK, so it's always fun at family events when they're all hello there, hello, and then I walk in. Hey, very good to meet you.
Hey, Sean, that's just like us in New York, Sean.
Yeah.
That's when we go anywhere else.
Tom, you're right, because I play a lot of Xbox, and a couple of days ago, a guy goes, "Hey," because my gamer tag is Epic Tag. You're it. The guy goes, "Yo, Epic, you're from New York, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." How do you know? He says, "You sound like you're from New York. You got an accent." I'm like, what? What
Yeah.
accent?
Because we up north. That's why.
No,
Right
you got to
down
say
south, we up
no.
north.
The response is, this isn't an accent. This is an attitude.
The attitude,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I got to remember
That's
that.
what it is.
I have to remember that, definitely. Now we can diverse from the main topic of the stream. I mean, for those of you,
where we going?
for those of you who missed all of the heated talk, which really wasn't heated because
It wasn't heated.
we laid down some rules. Drone Fox Island came in a little late, so he didn't hear the stipulation. But don't ever feel it that if you put something in the chat, either we'll get rid of it or we'll comment on it and say why we got right. So
language or any
right, as long as you're going,
no, be respectful. That's all. That's all anybody
right. So I just wanted to point that little bit out because you did not offend
so
anyone.
Mr. Gauze, he's got a good question here. He goes, doesn't that make all content and furtherance of business up on YouTube? It's a gray area, right? It's not going to get decided until it's decided in the courts.
Well,
if somebody wants to press that issue.
But it was also rumored, and Sean, maybe you can help confirm this with me. It was rumored at one time that unless you were a 107 pilot, they were going to start taking down drone footage. I don't know how true that is.
I believe that was one of the urban myths of YouTube.
Yeah, that was,
okay.
Yeah.
It is impossible.
Okay.
The only time, in my opinion, YouTube would ever do anything about it themselves is if we had a copper thing where a federal agency comes and says, if you don't start doing this, we're going to fine you, YouTube.
Right.
YouTube would never get involved in it because then they would be taking some form of responsibility somewhere in there.
Okay.
But they have safe harbor.
And that's good to know.
I would predict instead that after remote ID that they're going to get rid of the stipulation, like they have done here. They're going to get rid of the stipulation of the Part 107 as a certificate. There'll still be Part 107 flights, but it will work differently. It'll work similar to here. That it'll be about what you're flying, where you're flying it, and insurance, rather than necessarily what certificate you actually hold.
So are we making any other predictions for the end of this year when it comes to? We know remote ID's coming out.
Other than December 31st, I'm starting remote ID practicing.
Right. And also, I think over time, hobbyists are going to lose 100 feet. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go to 300.
That's my feeling. Yeah, I think we're at some point in time, you're going to be bound to about 300 feet for recreational flights. And because the commercial, they got to carve out space for commercial beyond visual line of sight, right? They got to carve out that space. Yes. Otherwise, you'll be crashing your hobbyist drone into Amazon's delivery drone.
Somebody's got to take that 1600 out then.
Somebody's got a whole fleet of lawyers and somebody doesn't. So
true.
That'd be
DJI got to stop. DJI got to take that 1600 flight out. They got to make their drone 300 too. Then you ain't gonna sell me nothing that you tell me I can go 1600.
Or you got to
give you
certify
$2,000 for.
There's a reason I have 1640 feet on mine, because when I legitimately fly as a Part 107, I need sometimes to leverage that 1640 feet. The other thing, under Part 107 clearly states, the operator or pilot in charge maintains authority over that aircraft. And should that aircraft have to be flown above a regulated height for safety reasons, the pilot has to be able to maintain that control and do so. Okay.
That's right.
But if I'm flying a mountain ridge, for a magazine article, and that mountain ridge is sitting at 1,400 feet, 1,500 feet, I gotta be able to crest it, right? Otherwise, I don't get the footage I'm looking for. So
you don't get the check, right? You don't get the check.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
But look, it's going to be. I wish El Smeghead wants the airspace between 400 and 1,000 feet, and let the delivery folks have the 0 to 400.
That's okay. Because if they ever raised it to 1,000, which we know would never happen, but I know people that already violate the 400-foot.
Well, let me tell you.
If it was 1,000, they would be almost in space. The props would be freezing up.
Let me tell you why
That would be
Let me
real
tell you why
SpaceX.
1,000 feet. How many? Come on, when Phantoms first came out, who wasn't flying to 1,500, 1,600 feet if they could, right? But the problem is, it
The
gets
views and
boring.
opinions heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions heard of everyone
I
on the
didn't say
panel and
you
or in the
did.
chat.
I didn't say you did. Okay, but think about it. I'm a photographer. 1,000 feet doesn't do me any good. Okay,
Yeah.
there's no
Nothing up
level
there.
of
What you trying
detail
to get a
there.
picture of?
It gets, okay. I could get that same picture off of Google Earth.
Yeah.
Probably at a better resolution.
You see what
but the
Sean,
thing
you
is,
see what Drone Pool put? It might have been it might have been faked. I haven't heard of anything.
I've seen a couple of videos where people have claimed that, but haven't actually created the.
Well, I mean, okay, if you're flying a racing drone down 42nd Street in Manhattan at 90 miles an hour, maybe they would take that off. Harmful to humans, perhaps. I'm just saying. But I could see something like that happening.
Wait a second, harmful to humans, then they have to take off all the Russian dash cam videos too, don't they?
Well, I'm just saying because I have not seen any videos. I've heard, but Sean has kind of confirmed that it's urban myth.
Yeah, that is urban myth.
The urban myth that I was confirming is that there is a coming campaign that YouTube is going to be doing on a regular basis. I'm sure they've approached some and they've had complaints, and whether the FAA writes them about a specific channel, I'm sure that happens. But
Matt posted something real interesting. Everyone on the panel, you'll see it in your chat.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's a good video. Everybody should watch it. I watched it this morning.
I'm actually going to put it in the watch later because I have not seen this one.
Very good.
And I don't want to put it up or talk about it because I have not watched it.
When you watch it, keep your comments here. Disclaimer right out the gate.
Right. There is so much of that going around right now.
Yes, dude, you better cover your behind.
I've actually been disconnecting my keyboard and putting it in the cupboard when I've been watching videos recently.
You need to, yeah. I know.
It is much safer. It's so much safer. Otherwise, you're like.
Listen, I can always say I don't know how guys like Herman, Matt, watch this YouTube bloody stuff all bloody day. I don't know how you do it, man. Matt stay home the whole day, be on YouTube every day.
Better than TV right now.
I love them for it. I love them for it. I love them for it, and I think
Formal rules will be out next week. I think. RCMP.
I told you guys it's going to be a Christmas present.
I'll fall asleep to these videos.
The only thing I've been watching lately on YouTube is D850. That's it.
Oh, the camera.
Yeah, see, you're fixated.
Well, it's gonna keep giving you videos on that
focus.
now.
Exactly.
No, I only watch two people.
Yeah, be careful.
That's
Don't check
that guy
out
and his wife, Curtis Norfolk. I take him out, and Peter McCormick. That's it. I don't mess with nobody else. I'm sorry. I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Yeah, on that note, I'm going to go and have a little cry.
You don't watch on channel?
Yeah, how they say. But Sean, you're not a photographer, so I need that. I need that extra
More insults, thanks.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
So keep keeping them on there.
Stop, Sean.
Keep keeping them on there.
You know how much?
I'm giving Tom the props. I'm giving Tom the props. So
hey, Ray, up until that last statement, he thought he was a photographer.
Yeah, up until that last statement. Come on now. Come on.
I'm like, okay, yeah, my man.
The problem is you got tunnel vision, right? Okay.
Yeah, I got everything vision. That's my problem.
Ray, are you checking out? There's only one site as a professional photographer I go to when I want to decide, and that's dpreview.com.
That's where I go. I review all the
DP review,
lenses, everything. I get that between that 39 and that 35 on the lens. I know I'm good with the lens. Yeah, I go on there.
But you know what?
Mr. Goss is funny.
It's pretty funny because we put up a cartoon the other day, but it applies to all technology, right? You are hot and heavy on this latest thing, and then then you find out they came out with a series 2. And then you're trying to justify every excuse. How many? Come on. How many
But
Mavic Air 2?
I like to at least ride my.
How many
I like to
Mavic
ride my
Air
girl
2
for a year.
pilots
I
or
got a
owners,
couple.
I should say,
But
are
they
now
all year
applying
apart.
for a Mini 2?
I bone them
Okay.
for a year,
Why?
and then I get another girl. I'm telling you, I'm
I
going to
said
bone
to
them for a
Sylvia
year.
yesterday,
know,
But I'm
I'm
that's
going to
doing
get another
everything in
girl.
my power to hate this drone, but I can't find it.
Ray,
Hey, Matt, what did I
Yes,
say before on Facebook? Only one girlfriend at a time, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You find another one, you cheating.
That was different.
But
And
then
you saw
Tom,
X,
then you got
and
that
I called him a
Tom, then
crack
you got the
dealer.
other girlfriend.
Okay.
You got the other girlfriend in the corner said, "You don't take me out no more."
Yeah, and then when you try to start
I
that
walk
one,
by
it
them
don't
every
work
day.
no more.
hey Ray, that sounds like experience.
Yeah, man. Real experience, man. Me tell you the truth, man. Me not lie.
I don't know
Me
what you're
not
talking
lie.
about.
Look, I
That's
try to
family
sell
sitting
my.
right there.
Hey
Man,
Ray, I try to sell my stuff off every year just to maintain
Hey,
at least
Dave
some
Ennis, what's
value in
good?
it, right?
I know, man. Just so you don't feel too
Because
bad.
this
just sitting
technology,
there.
man, the
You're
money
right, man.
just flies out of your pocket.
Quick.
Yeah,
Quick.
you're right. Yeah,
It's
right,
worse. I looked at when we were looking to purchase the RV, I said,
Mhm.
wow, the depreciation, man. When I hit that curb, 30% right off the bat.
Damn.
No, I look at
Wow.
my drone. It's just as bad these days, right?
Yeah,
Your camera,
yeah.
your drone.
Mhm.
Okay. Used to have an
Yeah.
FM2 Nikon body.
Soon as
The
the tire
F5,
touches the
and those things
concrete
get
of the
value
street,
forever.
it depreciates. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that.
And
It's
it
You know
is
that.
happening with drones
Absolutely.
because look at the Mini 2 that was out for 2 weeks, and then Billy Carl
Yeah.
puts on Twitter that he's had an inside chat with someone saying the front light was supposed to be a sensor, but that's now being held for the next iteration. So
Yeah.
they've
Right.
already got 3.
Yeah.
They've already got 3
Yeah,
coming.
that front little purple light or
Yeah,
violet light,
it was
whatever it
supposed
is.
to be a sensor, yeah.
It's crack cocaine.
They need to
There
make
you
it
go.
like Knight Rider. So
They playing
back and forth.
poker. They ain't showing their cards. Like I said with that orange pumpkin. DJI
Hey, what's up,
smart, man.
Stevie?
They gonna always give you a little peek.
Yep.
Stevie, how are you, brother?
Listen, guys.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're going to give you the taste.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look. The mini was nothing but a gateway drug. Okay. And that's what they're doing. They're
gateway
sucking you
drug.
in. Okay.
But the
What'd you
first gateway
say?
drug was the
What'd
You're
you
Spark.
already
say,
on the
Tom?
Mini
Spark
too?
was the first gateway drug.
So
Yeah.
Tom, basically you're calling DJI drug dealers because they went to the neighborhood
Absolutely.
and were
Let's just
dealing
be
out
straight.
little
Legalized drug
minis.
Hold on
I
a
don't know,
second.
man.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Some guys
Spending
are
a lot of money on this stuff.
calling meetups at 6 o'clock in the morning. If that's not drugs,
Tell me.
I don't
Right.
know what
There
you'll
you
call it.
go.
You either
Right.
call it a meetup.
You're right, Herbert.
You call it a meetup, it's either
Yeah.
drugs or it's a sneak out.
Hey, you
That's
guys
what-
support each other's channels out there.
And
Please.
you know what? When we get out there, it's nothing but a shooting gallery.
Yeah, basically.
So
You're right.
there you
You're
go,
right.
bro.
You're right.
Okay.
Because there's usually that first guy that has to get up in the air first. Then there's usually that guy that has to get up in the air standing right next to you. We've been to so many meetups here. Tom, Ray, Matt,
It's
Herman.
very hard for 10
Or
people to
can
get
I
that
can I
same
use
shot.
your landing pad while you're still on it?
Right?
Could you give me a second, please? Just let me move my drone. Thank you.
Listen, guys,
I'm just
we're
trying to
not-
fix my
We're
drone.
not going to go to 7 p.m. tonight because we're going to give someone else a chance to come on and go live. We're going to end the stream at 6:30, and that's only because it's Sunday, and I'd like to do something else. Before it
Say
gets
that.
too late.
Just say
Just
that.
say that, exactly.
Just where do you come up with all this other stuff?
Yeah, exactly. The
Yo,
views
My
and the
daughter's got a
opinions of
toothache.
Laura.
When he finished saying, I saw Tom's face. That's why I had to say, just say that.
Just say that.
Hey, Ray, the dog
Yes, sir.
ate his homework, bro.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Hey,
He
what's
won't
up,
watch
Agent K?
Mandalorian.
How are you?
Hey, Herman.
Yeah.
Herman. We went squirrel, bro.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well,
I did.
see, that was
We went
because
squirrel.
Tom. That was because Tom. First of all, I'd like to compliment you because you went into the story and what you wanted to explain quite controlled. I thought you would be more enraged and stuff. So I'd like to compliment you on that. I was expecting Tom to come in here a little fireball.
Well,
Hey, Ray, he's calling me a hothead, Ray.
That's what he called you, Tom, on the low.
Mhm.
On
Calling
the
me a
low. In the
hothead,
hood,
bro.
we
What's
call
with
that
that?
on the low. On the
Yeah.
hood, we call that on the
What
low.
was that? That was
Yeah.
backhanded, bro.
Yeah.
Backhanded.
That's what we call a
Thank you,
BITA
Laurie.
slap. Beef slap.
You guys in the chat see what I got to go through, right?
If Tom
Yeah,
was
but Tom, you wasn't wrong, Tom. You
you
wasn't
would
wrong.
see he smashed
What's that,
the
Sean?
entire room up. If Tom was to move his camera around, you would see nothing but debris from where he smashed it.
Exactly.
He let loose with a baseball bat for about 10
That was
minutes.
it.
You can see a
That
little
was
bit.
it.
You can see a little book there and things. You can see
Just
the
a little.
debris.
Just,
Yeah.
just,
Little
just
dents
a
here
little.
and there.
Stacking
Well,
up in the corner there.
I'm just saying. I mean, there are some topics that we get on, and Tom is not a good poker player because his facial expressions tell it all.
Yeah, I caught it.
I'm not a good poker player because my facial expressions tell it all. Like someone says, how is it? And I can't hide it. My mind is saying, don't say nothing, but the face is all, you know.
Then
right
Lawrence, I
there,
want to
yeah.
play. Then Lawrence, I want to play poker with you because when there's 4 suits involved, you got to see how the stone face becomes.
Listen, we got about 6 more
No,
minutes
you
left.
know what? It was good to get out what we needed to get out about the situation and
bashing
handle it in an
anybody.
adult manner
Exactly.
where it's more of an educational thing, right? I
Right.
mean,
This is what it's all about.
some can say,
And if you
you're
don't
not
learn from what
trying,
happened, if you don't learn from
if
that,
you're not making mistakes, you're not trying, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
True.
you know, look.
But
for
I
everybody who
wanna-
said they know everything, you a lying blood clot. This should teach a lot of people everything. Right? I'm telling you right now.
I just want to point out real quick.
Hey, Ray, my lieutenant was from the Caribbean when I first came on the job, right? I thought that was my nickname. He was calling me.
Shit. He was calling you that all the time.
That's not your nickname.
Okay.
He was calling you
I
blood
thought that was
clot.
my nickname.
Are you serious? Are you
For
serious?
like a week. For a week,
Oh,
he gave
man.
everybody a hard time. But for a week, I thought that was my nickname.
Yo, you don't want that for no Ross nickname.
And when he found that out, okay, I worked up in the South Bronx, okay, on an ambulance as a paramedic back in 1980. Okay. And my lieutenant, that's what he called me for the first like 2 weeks. And then when he found out, because I said to my partner, he gave me a nickname. He died laughing. Okay. But then my lieutenant came to me and goes, "That's not your nickname. Your nickname is Nightlight. I work midnights."
Okay. Nightlight. Okay. All
He
right.
called me Nightlight. Okay.
Got you.
I was the brightest thing in the South Bronx at midnight.
Yeah, but he called you so much. You say, "Okay, that's my nickname, huh?"
Yeah,
Yo.
I figured
don't want that to be your nickname.
I would come
No
to it.
mind. No
He
mind.
would yell it, and I would show up. I mean, I don't know.
Blood clot. That's what they do, boy. Sucking his teeth the whole time. Blood clot. What you do, man? Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so we all learn from our experiences, man.
This is true.
Nickname.
Experience is the best
We all
teacher,
learn from
Tom.
our experiences.
And if you don't, you're a blood clot. I'm telling you.
And yeah, Stevie, I was a busy little bee up in the South Bronx. I would.
He says,
Man,
were you up
there
there
was all-
in the 80s?
What's up, Stevie?
all kinds of trauma and everything else.
Stevie
and
says, were you up there in the 80s?
Yeah, I was up there. I worked out of an area where I covered from Fordham Road down to 161st Street,
Wow.
from the Major Deegan all the way to Southern Boulevard on midnights.
Wow.
And I used to do about 10 jobs a night, and we saw everything. I think up there, over the course of my career up there, I delivered 29 babies.
Okay.
Wow.
That's what's up.
But that barely compensated for the shooting, stabbings, jumpers.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Such is life, man. You learned your trade real quick up there, and it
Yeah.
gave me a good career. And in another few
In
months,
the
I'll be
80s,
retaring after 40.
wasn't the Bronx a giant
Bronx was
forest
burning,
fire?
baby. Yeah, well, that's how we navigated up there at night. You saw the glow in the
That's that Happy Land fire, man. All those people burned up in that building, man.
Yeah.
I was the morgue officer. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
You know,
so look.
Stevie said he was jumping over bodies on the way to school. Yeah, that was the
Imagine.
Yeah, and we were picking them up, bro. We were
Yeah,
picking them
man.
up. But you know what? It was we were the family doc. We were the emergency room doc out on the street for them. It was a great career back in the day, and then I moved on to bigger and better things, and I'm 40 years on the job now, so
Wow.
Right,
provided
listen.
for the family. And again, I got to play with a lot of toys like drones and stuff like that. So one thing leads into another.
Listen, guys, we're gonna get ready to get out of here.
All right, guys.
We do a drop because it's already late.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
In the UK, it's already late for Sean in the UK,
Don't
and I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here.
You're using everything as an excuse. Don't lay it at my door as well. You know, I've got Ray telling me he doesn't watch my channel because I'm not Peter McKinnon.
So, Sean, I didn't mean that personally. Come on.
Look, I've gone blurry now, Ray. That's your fault.
Yeah, see, that's his fault. That's his fault.
Peter McKinnon wouldn't go blurry, would he?
You know, Sean, until you get a Polar Pro endorsement, I'm not sure Ray's gonna follow you, bro.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, listen, we appreciate you all. Please don't forget to come back next Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, don't forget to check out Herman's live stream Wednesday nights, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Sunday night for those guys is sponsored by those guys. We appreciate you all. Everyone have a good night. Yes, we're getting the hell out of here a half hour early. Thanks for the super chats. Everyone be well, fly safe, and stop running into the bank without a mask on and then putting it on saying it wasn't me. That's it.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right.
Love everybody. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Peace.
All right, let's go. Let's end that. Let's stop that stream there.